Good morning, everyone. My name is Georgette Truan. I am the co-host for Fight CPS with Miss G Freestylen, and my co-host, Monica.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Monica.
Hi, Monica Owens, Phoenix, Arizona. Um, a grandmother with a grandson that's in custody of CPS currently, and we're working hard to get him out.
Yes,
Fighting him. He'll
everybody's working
return.
hard. I
We'll
know.
continue to.
I know.
Do you want to start with the case in Norwalk, California?
Yes, that's the most recent case on the November 8th, actually, was posted.
I'm sure everybody's probably heard of it by now, but the little
Yeah,
4-year-old boy.
yeah,
He also has a 2-year-old brother who's in custody and CPS custody, and the family's trying to find him. They haven't even been allowed to visit the child. He's currently in ICU in a
yep.
coma.
And he was beaten by
Yes,
the foster mother.
yes, beaten and tortured by the
Yeah,
foster mother. She's currently in jail right now where she should be, and she should stay in there. She's $1.2 million in bail, so she's going to be in jail for a while. I found out this lady weighs 300 pounds, and this is a 4-year-old
my
child,
God.
a 4-year-old tiny child. And they didn't say how she had been torturing him, but I guess there are signs that this is not new, that she had been torturing this particular child. I don't know if she has other foster children. I have no idea. But this is just a really sad case, and the family's very, very involved. They're trying to get answers from CPS, and they're not able to get answers from them. In fact, the only statement that CPS has made was that due to confidentiality laws, they're not able to say anything or give any information. So,
And
um,
it's, confidentiality crap that they keep talking about. Nothing they do is they're too disgusting. They're
and it's
disgusting.
convenient for them. They have confidentiality, but when
Yeah.
it's not, and when they want to gossip and harass and spread untruths about one of us,
Mm-hmm.
they are completely free to do so, never
Exactly.
thinking it's going to get back to you.
Exactly. Exactly.
But it
And
does.
and it does. It does. This is what it says. This is what I read. Okay, it says a woman has been charged with abusing a 4-year-old boy who was under her care in Norwalk. That resulted to the boy being hospitalized in critical condition. Official announced Monday. That was last Monday.
Yep.
What's so disgusting about this? I had the opportunity to look at the boy. They showed pictures of the boy. The amount of truth that's in that boy. I pray to God he makes it because he's in a coma. The boy is in a coma. Okay.
I think he's on a
Well, yeah,
ventilator, and I
yeah.
mean, it's
But
just
they said relatives of the boy alleged he was beaten and tortured while in foster care and are demanding answers and accountability. Right. An investigation began October 28th when Los Angeles County Sheriff Detective responded to a home along the 14700 block of Pioneer Boulevard regarding the physical abuse of a boy. The victim was injured and was admitted to the hospital intensive care unit, officials said in the news. The boy foster mother is Gabriela Casares. She's 26 years old and was
yeah.
arrested the next day on suspicion of child abuse. The case was presented to LA County District Attorney, which they are useless, by the way. I'm saying that it was not in the paper.
It's true.
Who weighs nearly 300 pounds, like Monica said, was charged with count of assault on a child becoming paralyzes, and 2 counts of child abuse under circumstances or conditions likely to cause great bodily injury or death, according to Sheriff Department.
Something else I found strange was that nobody called the family. The family found out through a third party.
Through a
DCF,
third
they
party.
it
Yeah.
happened on the 28th apparently, and on I guess DCS is the one that sent the child to the hospital.
Hmm.
I think they'd gotten a tip from somebody that this child was really injured,
Right.
and DCF went to the house, and they're the ones that called for the child to be taken to the ICU or to the emergency room. Then he was admitted. But the family didn't find out anything until the 29th. And it was through a third party. They're not saying who called them, but it wasn't DCSF. It
But
was
wait, but DCFS refuses for the mother to visit the child in the hospital. You would think under
the
different
whole family's
circumstances, the whole
the whole
family,
family's barred from seeing
right?
them.
But again, the mother is the most important vessel here. That's the most important part here.
Absolutely.
How can your child be dying from a foster home that you placed him into? And how dare you tell the mother she can't see her child? And,
It's
and
really,
let me just say something. Every child in a foster home is in danger.
yes.
Every child. I do not believe that they do their due diligence to make sure the child is safe. They would rather take the child from their mother and place them in a foster home than keep the child with their mother. And you know what's so disgusting? I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm not allowed to say the name of the judge, but you guys do your own research on that one. And you will find out who I am referring to. This judge is in the LA County in Los Angeles Edelman Court House, okay, in Monterey Park. This judge is a spokesperson and an advocate for a fosterall.org, which is an adoption agency in Los Angeles, California, Riverside, and Orange County. Okay, you guys heard what I
Wow.
just said. He is the spokesperson and an advocate for a fosterall.org, which is an adoption agency in Los Angeles, Riverside, and Orange County.
Isn't that a conflict of interest?
Wait, let me finish. The Foster All Agency mission is to adopt kids who are neglected and abused. Fosterall.org has a link of that judge speaking about dependency and delinquency court. This judge always charges parents with neglect and abuse. There are 30,000 kids in Los Angeles are still in the foster system and
Wow.
aging out of system without their parents. The sad thing about this shit is this. When I tell you guys that judges are corrupt, believe me when I tell you that. Okay? They are corrupt because they do things to fit their agenda. Just like the government sets rules in place to violate your rights. This is not America. Okay? I used to celebrate 4th of July when I was in my 20s and 30s and 40s. It's not until I got, past 41, age 41, that I started realizing that our system is so screwed up that it's beyond help. Because we have officials in office who actually violate your rights, and they set rules to violate your rights. How are you going to take children from their mother and father overnight without a court order? Right? Why? Because of
Without just
allegations?
cause or a court order
Right.
based on
Yeah.
retaliation if they don't like you.
Yeah,
and corruption.
that's it. It's based on retaliation. And the thing about it is, when they do BS maliciously, right?
Yes.
They come up with excuses. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. No, you little tort. You knew.
It's your job to know.
But wait a minute. There are those social workers actually come fresh out of college. Fresh out of college, they go to your home to assess you, and they make decisions on your life that they don't even know anything about parenting.
Some of them don't even go to college, dear. Ours didn't. One
That's
of them
true.
didn't.
Right. That is very true. I
And
said
neither one of
some.
them studied. One of them studied criminal justice, and the other one has went to some sort of a piddly IT school. And both of them came from the prison system. They really should go back.
Yeah, they should. And the thing about it is, honestly, those people that studied justice and all that, I hardly doubt they were even paying attention. Because you either have in you, you have natural compassion, right? Discernment, or you don't. You're not taught that in school. You're not taught that.
They can't teach you integrity.
No, there's no integrity, there's no character in them. They're useless, they're so dumb. Like yesterday, I met a social worker, right? I met a social worker. And because I talk about them a lot, I start kind of like you have a car, right? You buy a car, and all of a
Right.
sudden you see your car model everywhere. Now that I started talking about social workers constantly, I start meeting them now everywhere. This one I met at Starbucks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I was just shocked and how young she was, how stupid she was. And her and I started talking. I just hit conversations with everybody I meet. You know that, Monica. I just start talking to people. And as soon as she said she's a social worker, I said, "Oh, interesting." I said, "What county are you in?" She said, "Oh, San Bernardino County. I was in the Los Angeles County, and then I got transferred to the San Bernardino County. I was promoted to supervisor."
Oh, I
Mhm.
bet.
I said, "Oh my gosh, you look so young." I said, "How old are you?" 15, I said. She thought it was a compliment. I said, she said, "No, no, no, I am 23."
And
I
she's
said, "You're
making life
20?"
changing decisions about our
Yeah,
families.
yeah. So when I started talking to her, I realized that she's so young, that her mind is so young. Like she's thinking, she's talking about clubbing and parties, and she started talking to me so freely, giving information to me. Little did she know that I fight against people like her. When she asked me what I do for a living, I told her I work for the law office of Vincent Davis. She's like, "Oh, really? Where is that at?" I said, "In
Wow.
Arcadia." She said, "Oh, so what cases do you guys take?" I said, "We have cases that we take against the county and state. People like you. We fight against people like you." Her jaw dropped to the point where she stood silent with her mouth open like a little tort, right? And it was so disgusting when I looked at her. And I said, "I hope you do the right thing in life, because one day you're going to be so old, and one day you might have children, and you're going to regret what you're doing to mothers when you steal children from them because you don't like the mom, or because you don't like the dad, or because you don't like the grandma." I said, "I hope you do the right thing in your life." She didn't say a word, Monica, and she walked away to the point where the Starbucks lady was telling her, "Ma'am, your coffee, your coffee." She left the Starbucks place.
Wow.
Literally left, went in her car, and drove off because she was caught. Those people have no idea what they're doing. Our government officials have no idea what they are doing. All they
It's
care
too
about is
much
funding
corruption.
and money. The judges, shame on you, judges. Whether you're in LA, whether you're in Sacramento, whether you're in San Diego, San Bernardino, Riverside, Lancaster, shame on you. You are not judges. You just have a title. You are misusing your title.
At the great detriment of the children. That's the victim, is the child.
Yeah.
It hurts, but I'm
Melanie,
grown. My
yeah,
grandson is 2.
yeah. It's
He'll
disgusting.
never be the same.
No, he will never be the same. Melanie said in Florida it's disgusting, and CPS has the most power than any person or position. That is so dead on, Melanie. And they have so little education, and the workers are, oops,
Mhm.
that went away. I didn't finish that. And the workers are so ignorant and have no education. Yes, 100% accurate information
I
there.
agree.
I agree too.
Good comment.
The kids will never be the same. There's a case that I was speaking with the mother yesterday where her daughter keeps running away from the foster home. Her daughter is only 14. She's looking for her mom. She keeps telling the social worker she's being abused, right?
Right.
She doesn't want to stay in the home, and nobody's listening to her. Nobody's
Yet
listening
they
to her.
take the child on a small infraction from the mother.
Yep,
Removing a child should be a last resort, not the first resort.
that is
They
correct.
use it as an excuse to remove our precious children. Our most precious resource in this country is our children.
It
And
is.
they are hurting our kids, and
Yes,
they're
they are.
hurting this country.
Absolutely. And you know what's so sad? When foster parents fight to take children, those foster parents have no idea that those allegations against the mom are all false. They're all false allegations. A mother that's done drugs throughout her pregnancy has a better chance to get her child back. I've noticed that. If she's done her classes, and then she would relapse again. However, the mother that did nothing, right? And they're just basing it on allegations, right? From an ex-husband
Right.
or an ex whatever boyfriend, they actually take their children. And the mother doesn't get her kids back. I don't understand, and I will never understand how the system works. But what I realize, when you give children back, right, to somebody who can't stop using drugs, they're gonna relapse, and then they're gonna go back and recycle those kids back. It's like a circle, and then the more funding will come and so forth. Kind of
Right.
like percolate.
Like a
Yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of like they know, they know, or they give the children to the abusive father, right? The one
A
that beat the
lot of
mother up.
times.
That is, to me, it's like you make no sense. One case that I was talking with the mother, the father went to jail because he beat her. He beat her to near death. She was in the hospital. The father went to jail. Then they told the mother that we're waiting for the dad to come out so we can give him the kids.
Wow.
That's a true story. Everything I share with you guys is all true. But yet the mother is the one that called the police to protect herself and her child.
Sometimes a mother even calls CPS if she's having financial difficulties
For
or
help. For help. Yeah.
home, home situation isn't great or they can't make the rent. They're calling asking for help. What
Mm-hmm.
do? They exploit that. They exploit it and come and take the children.
Mm-hmm.
But even living in a hotel is not a reason to take a child from a mother.
It's not.
It's
It's
not.
not. It's not
Bring
at all.
dirty clothes to school, that's not a reason. Then you give them some clothes.
Exactly.
Help him get some clothes. Help his sister out. You know,
Exactly. And
like I
here,
said, it should be last
Christina.
resort, but they use it as a first resort.
Mm-hmm. Christina said, I was taken away at 13. I was so broken until I married a stranger to escape the home. A stepfather was in. This was Riverside County, just saying.
Wow.
I'm so sorry, Christina, but I understand exactly what you're saying. Um, Unfortunately, a lot of parents, once they're divorced or whatever, they remarry or get involved with a new partner. And that's why, to me, it is is very important for every mother that wants to involve herself with a new partner. Honestly, I recommend you take them to a psychiatrist to evaluate them. Because honestly, oftentimes good people get involved with narcissistic people because you're an easy target to them. And the children are the ones who suffer in the process. And it's very important for young women out there. I speaking from experience, it's very important to get psychiatric evaluation with a partner that you're thinking about having children with. It's very important. What do you think,
They're
Monica?
very good at hiding it at first.
Very, very good. And oftentimes they literally they would trap you, making you think that everything is great, making you think that you are the partner they've been looking for. You know what I mean? So,
Special.
and you're not, and you're special. Yeah,
Special.
you're special, all right. You're a special, you're a special target. You know. So right now, I would like to focus on another story. There's a lot of people out there who think that if you get the social worker to be your friend, you're kind of like your case will be a lot smoother. I spoke to about 13 people this week, and it's not even Thursday yet. And they all told me that they get advice from their friends telling them to make friends with the social worker. Please don't do that. Don't get advice from friends or family unless they are attorneys, right? And unless they know what they're talking about from previous experiences. It takes years for an attorney to be experienced in the field they're in. So when you talk to a friend who has no experience at all in law or how CPS works or how they operate, do not take advice from them. Mr. Davis always says to always have an attorney before you speak to a social worker. You should never speak to a social worker without an attorney. And Mr. Davis has been doing this for 35 years.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't take advice from somebody who's never done it, who doesn't specialize it in that field. So it's sad when I hear mothers saying, well, the social worker even bought me coffee. Oh, the social worker said, let's meet at Starbucks. The social worker, all the social worker is doing is trying to get closer to you so you can indulge more information to her. to use against you.
Let your guard down, thinking, I'm appeasing her. No, you don't appease them. No.
No.
And they
No.
even used it against me in court because I said, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm not
Hmm.
talking to you.
Yeah.
And she said, did you refuse to speak to the social worker? I said, I
Hmm.
sure did because it's my constitutional right.
And
And
what did they
actually,
say?
oh, yeah, they want to squash your constitutional rights. Trust me.
No matter what you do, it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Honestly, social workers' job is to take your children. That's it. The judge job, I don't know what it is. I'm still figuring that one out. What is the judge's job?
They're supposed to use discernment and supposed to sort out facts. However, they come and take your child before you ever go to court. They come in the middle of the night like a thief that they
Like a thief.
are and
Yeah.
take your child without just cause, without integrity, without giving you any recourse or
Hmm.
time to fix. Say if your house is cluttered, you should
Hmm.
have time to fix your house. They should say,
Hmm.
okay, and we're going to come back in 24 hours. No, they would just take the child. They drove my grandson 3 hours in the middle of the night with him crying,
Hmm.
crying for his Mimi
Yeah.
all the way. And then this heifer had
Hmm.
the audacity to say he cried the whole time. Oh,
Yeah. But you see, it's just like this. You're literally traumatizing the child. You know, in the middle of the night when the child was resting, you're traumatizing the child.
a 1 year old child, a
Yeah.
one
But
year old child.
but he doesn't know what's going on. You know, he went to sleep and all of a sudden, this tragic happened. And then when the child reacts, then they say, "Oh, it's the grandmother's fault or the mom's fault," right? Always,
Exactly. Yeah.
always.
No,
It's
it's
like
her
it's the
fault.
mother's fault constantly, the grandmother's fault constantly. But I also I wanna say something. I have met great grandmother, great, like I'm talking about fabulous, awesome grandmother. You, Carissa Ambrino, she's really good friend of mine as well. I have made friends who are amazing grandparents, right? Now, I get calls from mothers who cry out to me because their own mother retaliates against them
Yep.
and reports them to CPS, right? Why? Because the daughter didn't want to bring the child for the weekend. Now, I want to talk to you grandparents out there. Don't use your grandkids as tools
No.
because your daughter is a mother, like you were a mother to your daughter. When you first had her as a baby, you know how important it is to have your child in your arms. If your daughter doesn't do, she's not on the street prostituting her body while her baby's with her, right? Or beating the baby to death, right? Now, I understand if you do that to save your grandchild,
Right.
but don't do that maliciously because you disagree with your daughter on the way she's bringing up her child.
And if you think they'll ever give you that child,
Yeah, you're wrong.
you're wrong.
Yep, you're
It's
very wrong.
gonna it's gonna just ruin the child's life.
It's gonna be
Really.
exactly,
Nothing good's gonna come of it.
exactly. So don't do it. Don't do it
Agree.
because it's not right. I have a show, relatives fight CPS show, which is tonight at 7. After I hear all the stories, even a grandmother even confessed to me on Monday. She said, Georgette, I feel bad. It's all my fault. I reported my daughter because I disagreed with her on what type of formula to feed her baby.
Wow.
Her
That's no
daughter
reason to
wanted to
call
feed her, right.
CPS.
And she said that I reported her to CPS. I said she's an unfit young mother who can't take care of the grandbaby, her grandbaby. CPS worker came and took the baby. The grandmother thought the baby was going to be placed with her. CPS worker told her on Friday of last week the baby's not going to be placed with her because she's not certified foster parent. That's in Lancaster, by the way. She
Wow.
said to me, she said, Georgette, I made a huge mistake. I wanted to get in the phone and just like take her up a little bit. I'm not
Wow.
judging her, but I was so hurt for the child and for the mom. She said, my daughter doesn't want to speak to me. I don't know what to do.
I
So I
don't blame
told her,
her. I don't
I,
blame her at all.
I told her, I said, I am sorry. I'm not here to judge you, but I can honestly tell you that I don't blame your daughter for not speaking with you. I said, I pray to God your daughter gets her child back. She said, I will do anything to bring the child back. But what people don't understand is when you open Pandora's box, you can't just close it.
Yeah, you can't put that genie back in the bottle.
No, you can't. So you disagree. Don't involve the children because you disagree. Men, don't report your ex-wives because you're trying to avoid child support. Don't do that. Women, don't hurt your exes because they found love in another partner in their life. Don't hurt them, right? Because you guys are both going to end up losing your children. So don't involve children in your little malicious anger game because you're opening the door for social workers to come in.
I agree
That's
with
what
this
you're doing.
lady.
Huh?
I agree with this lady's comment, Jackie.
Oh, Jackie. Oh, hi,
Yeah,
Jackie. Um,
there's
who
not
said
such thing as being friends with social workers.
no?
Yeah.
Absolutely. She said, LOL. I know you're laughing your butt off, Jackie, but yeah, that is so true. There is no such thing, but they trick them, Jackie. They trick mothers. Let them think, I'm here for you. I have a lady that told me, a mother that said the social worker walked in her door and she said, I'm not here to take your children. We don't make money off of your children. Right away. She said she was like shocked that she said that as soon as she walked in the door. But guess what? That night, she came back at 11:45 p.m. and took the baby.
They will also encourage family members. They'll tell family members, "Oh, the baby's in danger. Call the CPS hotline." When in fact, they're the mandated reporters. If they thought something was really wrong, do you not think that they would intervene themselves?
Yeah,
Otherwise, they manipulate text
exactly.
message, email, anything they can do to get that great grandmother or great aunt or whomever to call the CPS hotline telling you that child is in danger.
Right. Alex, there was a comment that Alex put on there. Um, he said that, he said, my mother is my nightmare. And she is sick, evil, and controlling. She thinks CPS will give her my kids, but she is so wrong. I am so sorry, Alex.
It's terrible.
Alex, I agree with you. I agree with you. Grandmothers, be grandmothers. Don't hurt your child because you disagree with them. Don't. There's even mother in laws or ex mother in laws. How dare you? Because you don't like your ex daughter in law, you're going to, stand by your son and steal her baby from her? I see that happening all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you don't like her. You have issues. You have control issues. If you do this to another mother, you have control issues.
Agree.
You
Go work on yourself.
go work on yourself. Exactly.
Work your issues out.
But when you enable your son, you're actually enabling a narcissist that you brought up because you are just like him. That's who you are. You're an enabler. And the children suffer without their mother. Children still suffer. They cry night
They do.
by themselves for their mom, especially if they have a good mom. And grandparents, I mean, I love my grandma. My mom was a grandma. She was an amazing grandma. My brother's wife called her mom.
Wow.
She treated my brother's wife like she treated me. And actually, sometimes I felt she loved her more than me. Yeah, I did.
No way.
If she would buy something for me, she would buy it for her. And it's amazing to me that that's what grandmothers are. They're supposed to be loving, nourishing, understanding. They're supposed to be available when the mother needs a vacation or something. The grandmother would open her arms, her home, for her grandkids. So it's very important for you guys to understand that being a grandmother is a big deal. But don't use it the wrong way. Use it in a healthy way. Because no matter what, if your son chose a woman, right, that you don't like, learn good things about her. Get close to her. Guide her. Love her. And that's how it should be. Because when you involve CPS, you're involving the devil to walk in your life. Because CPS to me is nothing but the devil. They're demonic. They have no remorse. They will take your child no matter what. And there are mothers who actually, when they fight, when they fight to, um, here you are. I was trying
Sorry
to,
about that. I bumped this. Sorry.
when the grand, when mothers fight for their child and the grandmother is objecting and trashing her and all this, you're actually trashing your grandchild because your grandchild is a part of that woman. If you hate a mother, you hate your grandchildren.
It's just wildly inappropriate any way you look at it. You just
Yeah.
shouldn't. Don't make our problems the children's problems because they pay the price.
Yeah,
The children pay the price.
they do. The children do pay the price, and that's not right.
No, it's
That's
not
not
right.
right. And just try to use logic, people. Use logic. CPS are not good for you. Be peaceful. There's no need for violence. There's no need for, calling the police for what? For a family argument? And then the police notify CPS. I have a couple. The wife called the police because her husband took her cell phone from her.
Oh my God.
Police came. They put in the report domestic violence. She said, I only called the police to shake him up a little bit.
Did
But
it work?
what resulted from all this is the police notified CPS. CPS came and took your kids. Even though there was no domestic violence, her husband just took her cell phone and left because they had a dispute over something she was doing on social media. That's
Wow.
and 2 years pass, and now their kids is up for adoption because of that moment. Jane Thomas said, I have not seen my children in 3 years. They were taken back in 2018, no visitation, nothing, all because of lies. CPS is sick, and I pray for everyone going through this. Jane, I am so sorry.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. For lies, just lies.
She doesn't even get visits. Well, she said she hasn't seen them, so apparently she doesn't even get visits.
No.
Imagine your kid was 6. A lot of stuff happens between the ages of 6 and 9, or 9 and 12. You know, a lot of things happen. If you don't get to see your child, you're left wondering, what, is this being addressed? Are they doing this? Or what are they doing now?
It's
Wow.
just based on lies, though. It's lies, lies, lies. That's what gets
Yep.
me. You're supposed to take children when they're in dire need for help, meaning there's no food, they're being abused, there's bruises all over the body of the child, they're left alone for days.
Imminent danger. Imminent danger.
Imminent danger. But I don't understand how imminent danger comes in when somebody reports allegations, makes allegations, I mean.
It doesn't translate.
Not even proven accurate. It's not even proven right. But you just take children just on allegations. If I was an ugly person inside, I would report my neighbor next door. Right? There's a reason. But because she has children, I don't want to do that. Because I know what comes from it.
Exactly.
I
It's
know
not
how
good.
it's going to be. Exactly. So you know what I did? The crab that she had next to my house in bags, I just picked it up. I was nice. I went to her and I said, is this trash? She said, yes. I just didn't have time, to put it in the trash bin, right? So what I did is I went and I helped her. I took it to the trash myself. Other neighbors would report because it's pissing them off, because they're upset. So let me get her in trouble with the law because, of something like that. So she came, I've been doing this for almost a year now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she came to me about 2 weeks ago and she knocked on my door and she said, Georgette, thank you. I said, for what? She said, thank you for helping me out the whole entire year. Then she explained to me why she couldn't do what's
Right.
necessary to be done because she has an illness. And she lost her mom and dad and nobody helps her anymore.
See, you never know.
And her kids are young. So people don't understand what goes on in other people's lives. So have compassion. Instead of you going to use, your anger into a way where just to report them because you don't like them. That's evil.
It is evil.
Evil.
It
If
is
you do
sick.
something like this, you are an evil person and you need help.
Yes, I
God.
agree.
You need to find God. Brenda said something drastic has to be done. They lie in court and they get away with it. Yes, Brenda, they lie in court and they get away with it because we have stupid judges, Brenda. And that's why Mr. Davis always says, vote them out. Vote them out. People don't vote for judges. I was guilty of that too, guys. I used to only vote for the president of the United States.
Right.
Now I'm voting for everyone. I'm voting. I'm like active in my neighborhood. I started getting everybody to pay attention to how they vote. The whole street knows me. Like literally, the other streets are beginning to know me now because of this. So they're all like, okay, Georgette, well, we need to do this right. Yes, you need to do this right. Before you vote, do your research about judges.
I think we need people like you in office, Georgette.
Yeah, right.
We do. We
Like a,
do.
thank you, baby. But a judge like this one in the Monterey Park Courthouse, that I can't say his name, you know, being an advocate for a fosterall.org, right? Spokesperson, that's very dangerous.
Yes, it is.
Very dangerous. Because he's making them money.
So his alliance is always going to, he's always going to err on, or probably
Yeah.
always going to,
Because every
mostly.
case he has is neglect and abuse. Really?
Wow.
Really? And that's how they take the children, if they get the children to be adopted? Are you kidding me? Anybody can report neglect and abuse.
It's like an assembly line.
Neglect and abuse. Give me a break. What is the neglect? They always say neglect and abuse, neglect and abuse, neglect and abuse. It's like a broken record.
Yeah.
To me, vote for judges. You want to make a change? Vote them out. And I highly recommend everybody in the United States to pay attention to who you vote for when it comes to judges. Family Law Court in downtown LA, they're just as bad because we have some idiotic judges. It makes me want to get up and shake them up a little bit. Like, are you even understanding what is being done here? Why do I call them stupid? The definition of stupid is what? Hearing the truth, seeing evidence of the truth, but you still believe a lie. That is the definition of stupid.
Or
That's
they just blatantly overlook it. They just overlook it.
No, it's not about overlooking. I'm sorry. When you're a judge,
Look
you
the
don't
other way.
overlook. No, I disagree. No, when you're a judge, there is no such thing as overlooking. You're stupid or you're not. To me, I don't see a gray area here. I see black or white. Why? Because that's your job, to be a judge. It's your job to do it right. But what they do is they believe the lie. There is no excuse, really. There is none.
And they don't like it when people fight back. They don't like it when you say, it's my constitutional right.
No, they don't like it when you show them evidence. They don't like it when you prove them stupid in court. It's that power game. Power game. Alex Vasquez said CPS hides under the disguise that their best intentions are to help the kids. That's so funny. But Nancy, our government senator, was killed for exposing them. Yes, Alex. Nancy Schaefer was the senator who actually lost her seat for exposing Bill Clinton and CPS nationwide. There are actually doctors that came out and spoke out when Nancy Schaefer was exposing CPS, and the doctors said they were forced or they were threatened to lose their medical license if they don't do what CPS tells them to do. Just to give children medication and diagnosed the children wrong.
Wow.
Doctors spoke out. Nancy went on and beyond exposing CPS. And I really have a lot of respect for that woman, and God rest her soul for the great things she's done exposing them. And
She's
what
amazing.
she's amazing. When I started working for Vincent, right, I knew CPS was corrupt. I didn't know anything about Nancy Schaefer. When I started watching her and watching every video she's done, I realized that woman was an angel. She fought for injustice
She did.
and she lost her seat for it and
And her
lost her
life.
life. Yeah, and her life. We have president in office who are useless. What is president? What? They live in a White House? They talk on social media or on the news? What is their job? What is their job? I have no idea, because whatever their job is not what really happens once they take office. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. That means nothing to me.
Yeah.
If I see a good Democratic president, I will vote for him or her. If I see a good Republican president, I will vote for them. Don't vote just because you're a certain party. Because there's good and bad in everybody around us. Right? There's good people, there's
True.
bad people. Whether they're Democrat or Republican, there's good and Democratic parties, there's bad Democratic parties. There's good Republicans, there's bad Republicans. Don't just vote because that's your party. That is the dumbest crap I've ever heard. That's why we're so screwed up in America right now. To me, do the right thing. Learn who you're voting for. Learn about them. Because that matters. Carissa said, all I'm going to say is these children need to be returned to family members, a blood family member. This is outrageous. That is, and that,
Mystery.
yes, I'm sorry. They're children that needs to be returned to their families instead of his glorified, uneducated foster parents, as well as his CPS caseworkers. Yeah.
Yep. Well said.
Yeah. Foster parents, they're only doing it for the money. So shame on you, foster parents, when they want to get the children, not because they love them, because they see potential money from them. And what they do is they hinder the return of the children to the actual parent.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you have a family member that's willing to sue for custody of that child,
Mm.
it's a fair bet that that family member loves that child enough to where they should be back with that family member. If they care enough about him to sue CPS and put everything on the line and fight for the child, foster mother, you should shut it down.
Yep. Yep. But guess what? A lot of foster parents, by the way, you guys, are related to the social workers. I found that out recently. So a lot of foster families have social workers who are either a niece, a daughter, a sister, best friend, family friend as a social worker. Be very mindful of that. So when the social worker are very close to this foster family, it's because there is a deeper connection than that. Oftentimes, I tell parents to hire an investigator. Hire a private investigator to investigate your case, the people around them. It's very important.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, because you are a parent. If the system, our government, think that we shouldn't worry or be concerned about our children, you're mistaken. My mom worried about me until the day she died. My father would call me daily to make sure I ate. And I was in my 20s, like 27, 28. I was working, successful, have my own, place. And, it's like, yes, dad, I ate. I love you. I love you too. Yes, mom, I'm okay. Nowadays, mothers would be lucky if their adult children answer their calls.
Well, somebody has to make sure, honey, that you eat more than one crouton in a 10-year period, and a Diet Coke and a crouton.
It's kind of like that. So that's what parents do. So if the government think parents have no right to be concerned or worry, a mother knows when her child is sick before a doctor diagnoses her child. My mom used to know I was sick. She get this feeling that something is not right. She would call me on the phone. Are you okay? No, mom, I have a fever. I had a feeling. And
To
my
have a
dad would tell me,
connection.
yeah, a connection. A mother and child have a connection for the rest of their lives. My dad would tell me, your mom told me that she thinks you have a fever. You're sick. I'm like, mom, are you psychic?
Yes.
Like, what is this? She knew. My mom knew when I had my appendix, right? That when I had my stomach pain, and she told the paramedic when I was 27 years old. I was at her house with pain. She said, it's your appendix. She told the paramedic, I think it's her appendix. The paramedic looked at her and said, Mom, you could be right. My appendix ruptured in the ambulance.
Oh my gosh, that's
I
horrible.
was near death. Went to the hospital. Doctor, thank God, with God's help, obviously, saved my life. And my mom, the doctor came to me and he said, your mom is your doctor. She literally diagnosed you before I've even diagnosed you.
See?
So mothers have a special bond. It's a gift that God gave them. So if a mother worries about her child, the government is shutting the mother up by saying you have no right to be concerned about your child.
So who do these children trust?
A foster mother who has absolutely no connection to that child.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's how disgusting our system is. And then they shut the mother up. Oh, if you raise concern about seeing your child doing visitation with a bruise, we will take your visits away from you. They say that.
That's retaliation.
I know. But
Retaliation.
to a judge, when the mother addresses that to a judge, guess what? The judge dismisses it. You have no right to raise concern about your child in coming back from that foster home with bruises.
Or severe diaper rash, which they never had under the grandmother's care.
Exactly. Really? Exactly. When you're a good grandmother, right? You love your grandchild. You'll protect your grandchild. When you're a good mother, you're connected to that child.
Yes.
But shame on all of those people that actually report your own family, the mother, because of hatred or because of whatever disagreements. Stop doing this. Stop it.
They love to create division
Don't
amongst family
do
members
that.
and
Don't
pit
do
one
it.
against the
Yes,
other.
they pin them against each other.
I just won't do it. I won't do
Yeah,
it.
it's not necessary. Get
No.
over yourselves. Pay attention to the children. They're the main focus. Get this hatred out of yourselves. Get it out. Because at the end of the day, CPS takes over and they play the game against you because you involved them. Because of
That's exactly what happened in our case.
yeah,
Is as soon as the baby got removed, CPS broke up with the great grandmother, wouldn't even talk to her, and they had used her and played her for a jackass to have her call the CPS hotline, and then they'll have nothing to do with her now.
exactly.
Nothing. And so she's left out with who? She doesn't have the grandbaby. She doesn't have the rest of her family now.
There you go. Because of what? Because of this hatred inside them. This is not necessary, you guys. Get it together. Compassion is more powerful than hatred. Get it together.
And your family ties should be stronger.
Oh my God. Did you hear that, Barbara? She said Nancy Schaefer, senator of Georgia, was working with me but was murdered.
Yep.
Barbara, I would love to speak with you. Um, if you can, text me at 626-631-8901. I would really love for you to keep in touch with me and we'll talk. Okay, guys, we came to an end of the show and join me at 1 o'clock with Fight CPS with Miss G and at 7 o'clock with Relatives Fight CPS today, Pacific Standard Time. Thank you, Monica, so much for joining me again today. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I have so much respect for you. You're a great person, great grandmother, amazing. I love you and your husband and your son very much.
So we love you also and have so much respect for you and all the work that you're doing and the attention that you're bringing to this more and more every day. Thank you.
I love you, Monica. Thank you.
Bye.
I love you guys and join me today and keep the fight. Don't ever give up on your children. And please vote. Vote judges out. Let's vote them out. And please spread the word. Vote them out. I'm doing it on my street. Now the next street is on it. And you guys should do it in your neighborhood. I'm like really active on this. Please make sure you vote them out because they are useless. We don't need idiots at all to make decisions for our children. Okay?
Great.
Well, God bless you, and I will see you guys